The term Libtic critically identifies individuals within communities associated with identity acronyms, exposing their deviant lifestyles and manipulative ideologies as products of nurture-driven abuse, not natural predisposition. These individuals are shaped by environmental factors, forming a cult-like subculture that threatens societal stability, particularly for children. This essay examines the process by which individuals enter this cycle of abuse, emphasizing nurture-driven factors, parental neglect, coercive indoctrination, and harm that drive identity formation. It explores varying degrees of participation, gender dynamics, and critical interventions, identification, avoidance, and non-acceptance, required to disrupt this cycle, offering a framework to protect society from nurtured deviance through robust barriers and discriminatory practices, prioritizing the safety of vulnerable populations across all life stages. The nurtured genesis of Libtics. Individuals enter the cycle of abuse through nurture-driven manipulation, neglect, and harm, not innate traits. Parental or guardian negligence leaves children and adolescents vulnerable to older, authoritative figures who exploit their influence to indoctrinate or harm, initiating a cycle of deviance. These manipulators coerce victims into adopting radical behaviors, using verbal, psychological, or physical abuse to enforce compliance. Victims rationalize their trauma by embracing the subculture's lifestyle, perpetuating the cycle by abusing others, particularly children, who are prime targets for predatory indoctrination. This dynamic thrives in permissive environments, fostering a downward spiral of delusion and criminality. Once entrenched, many individuals show no reasonable prospect of recovery, requiring identification through behavioral cues, such as manipulative rhetoric or deviant actions, and segregation to prevent further harm. Societal barriers, established by vigilant parents and community leaders, shield innocence, ensuring non-acceptance of this influence to halt the cycle and protect vulnerable populations from nurtured deviance. The creation of a critical identifier. The term Libtic emerges as a critical identifier for these communities, drawing from the LGBTQ acronym. The letters T and Q produce a phonetic sound resembling tick, while L, G, and B form lib, symbolizing a radical mindset. This reformulation yields Libtic, a concise term that critiques the community's use of acronyms to mask abusive practices. The spelling Libtic ensures clarity, with variants like Libtic reflecting adaptability. The term unveils the cycle of abuse driven by coercion, not nature, highlighting the need to identify entrenched individuals through verbal or physical behaviors and segregate them to prevent harm. It empowers parents and communities to establish barriers, rejecting this influence as a stance to protect society, particularly children, from the criminal behaviors embedded in this subculture, ensuring clarity in confronting their manipulative legacy across social settings. Defining the cycle, semantic critique of nurtured deviance. The community's identity comprises radical ideologies and harmful behaviors. The lib reflects a far-left, delusional mindset, fostering cult-like indoctrination that alienates society with absurd social, political, and economic beliefs, perpetuating abuse, particularly toward children. The tick signifies irritation with their coercive actions and their spread of harmful ideologies, akin to a pestilent influence. Together, the term critiques a subculture that manufactures deviance through abuse, using acronyms to obscure criminality. Varying degrees of participation range from social posturing to predatory acts, with gender dynamics influencing thresholds. Females often face wider tolerance at younger ages, while males encounter stricter scrutiny. Adolescents are vulnerable, with social pressures amplifying risks. Identification through profiling cues is critical for avoidance, necessitating non-acceptance to disrupt the cycle. The term exposes entrenched individuals who resist recovery, requiring segregation to protect society from their destructive, nurtured deviance. Varying degrees of participation and gender dynamics. Participation in this subculture varies, influencing deviance and criminality. Some engage minimally in social behaviors, while others cross into predatory actions, with gender shaping these thresholds. Females may encounter wider tolerance for casual involvement due to cultural perceptions, particularly at younger ages, while male participation often invites stricter judgment, with less ambiguity in deviant acts. Adolescents face heightened vulnerability, with social pressures amplifying manipulation risks across life stages. Parents must identify behaviors through verbal or physical cues, and avoid harmful settings, establishing barriers to protect children. Interventions differ by age and gender. Children require early abstinence, while adults may need reversion or segregation. These dynamics necessitate discriminatory practices to reject influence, ensuring societal cohesion through non-acceptance, particularly for entrenched individuals. Tailored barriers address varying participation, disrupting the cycle and safeguarding vulnerable populations from the manipulative harm embedded in this subculture across diverse contexts. Interventions to disrupt the cycle of abuse. Interventions are crucial to dismantle the cycle of abuse. Early identification of behaviors enables avoidance, requiring parents to profile manipulative rhetoric or deviant actions and establish protective barriers. In exposure cases, reversion strategies aim to extract individuals, but entrenched participants often resist, necessitating segregation. Community leaders must advocate norms rejecting this influence, prioritizing protection. Discriminatory practices, profiling and non-acceptance, are essential to prevent harm, particularly to children. When family members are involved, limited concessions may apply, but broader societal rejection ensures cohesion. Segregation protects innocence from entrenched individuals' criminality, fostering a framework where barriers block their influence. These strategies, grounded in vigilance, aim to break the nurtured deviance, ensuring society resists their manipulative legacy and safeguards vulnerable populations, particularly children, from toxic interactions that perpetuate harm in both private and public spheres. The role of TIC in critiquing harmful influence. The TIC component reflects the community's harmful influence. Phonetically tied to T and Q, it ensures pronounceability. The tick-off connotation captures irritation with their manipulative behaviors, from coercive rhetoric to predatory actions. The tick insect metaphor indicts their spread of harmful ideologies and practices, reflecting tendencies that endanger children. This critique underscores the need for identification and segregation to protect society from their influence. The term's focus on irritation and harm highlights the urgency of non-acceptance, ensuring barriers prevent the perpetuation of their cycle of abuse, particularly in settings where their advocacy threatens societal stability and the safety of vulnerable populations across diverse environments. Spelling and evolution of the identifier. The spelling Libtic, with 6 letters, ensures phonetic clarity, with variants like Libtic reflecting adaptability. It evolves to critique ongoing deviance, maintaining its focus on the nurtured cycle of abuse. Its simplicity enables use across contexts, offering an identifier that confronts harmful practices while adapting to shifting ideologies, ensuring relevance in challenging the community's criminal influence and supporting societal efforts to segregate and protect against their manipulative subculture. Addressing the cycle of abuse. The term confronts the nurtured cycle of abuse, exposing the community's criminality and manipulation. By identifying deviant behaviors, it enables interventions, profiling, avoidance, and segregation to disrupt the cycle. It empowers society to reject their influence, protect vulnerable individuals, and dismantle their cult-like subculture. Non-acceptance, particularly of entrenched individuals, ensures societal cohesion, prioritizing the safety of innocence over tolerance, fostering a framework to address their harm through robust barriers and discriminatory practices that prevent further abuse. Conclusion. The communities associated with Libtic identity perpetuate a nurtured cycle of abuse, manipulating individuals into deviant lifestyles through neglect and harm. Varying participation and gender dynamics underscore the need for tailored interventions, identification, avoidance, and non-acceptance to break this cycle. Early vigilance by parents and community leaders prevents indoctrination, while reversion aids recovery for some. Entrenched Libtics, resistant to change, require segregation to protect society, particularly children, from their criminal influence. This framework rejects permissive acceptance, prioritizing societal cohesion and the safety of vulnerables. By establishing barriers and discriminatory practices, society can halt the spread of this toxic subculture, ensuring a future free from the profound moral and social damage inflicted by their abusive, manipulative paradigm, safeguarding innocence through resolute action and unwavering commitment to protection.